Hello and welcome back to Owl Watch episode 4. That is Ken over there, and I am Don, and we are here
Hi.
to talk about the finals.
They happened.
They did happen, and not exactly what we thought.
No. Also, we're good. And you know what that means. Here's my little. You know what that means.
We finally fixed issues and didn't have them repeat themselves.
That's what you think.
Well,
And you
we'll see what
you won't
happens.
find out till we're done. Also, I'm already lying inside of our fancy new panels at the bottom that you can see that I worked very hard on.
Well,
Where
I was going to
we have
mention this earlier, but I also wear glasses. I wear contacts 9 times out of 10.
I have known you for like 1,000 years, and I've seen you wear glasses all of like 4 times.
I'm just saying it happens.
Sometimes.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you're in the thing now.
I'm,
Fancy blue cup.
Oh, okay.
It's a
I
fancy
I
blue cup.
wasn't sure what you were talking about, but that works. I like
But it's
it.
fancy.
It's beautiful.
So,
Anyways,
but before we get into the nitty gritty, first and foremost, we have to say thank you guys again for joining us for our fourth episode. I
yes,
don't
thank
think
you,
either
thank
of
you.
us thought we'd get here to four.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
still kind of surprised.
yeah, me too. But the other big thing is we have to say this. Congratulations to the London Spitfire on
Yes.
taking the first ever Overwatch League. Like,
Congratulations on absolutely owning everybody else in the
nobody saw it
playoffs.
coming. You were the little engine that could, and that still works because planes have engines. So good on you. And I believe Thomas the Tank Engine is English as well.
That I can't confirm, but any sort of London Spitfire player or organization member, can we get like some of those London like adorable plane cutouts or just like show us where to buy them?
Yeah, really.
Like I really want like 7.
More than that.
Got to have at least a small fleet.
Yeah, really. Like enough to make JFK look like a tiny airport.
That'd be pretty sweet.
So
I'd be down for that. Just a whole stream of us just playing like a fake airport with those.
playing make believe with them.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. All right. Well, enough bullshit. I mean, there's gonna be
Take us
a
away.
lot more bullshit. But so, match 1 happened, and it was okay.
Yes,
Philly came out strong, had a good push. Actually took point 3 at Dorado, which is
they
always tough.
they did okay.
London had plenty of time going into point 3 and just did nothing. They got completely outplayed there. And watching that live, I thought that was actually a really good thing because we might see more Overwatch.
Yes,
But that didn't
both of
happen.
us. Yeah, both of us had our plans totally ruined. The day Saturday
Yeah.
for the second match because we're like, I had a gig for my band that night, and I was like, ah man, I'm gonna miss match 3. This is gonna suck. I have to not look at my phone all night because like I don't want to see who wins. I want to like watch it and have it organic. And then it ended. It was like, oh, okay. I don't have anything to do for a couple hours now. Great, awesome. On to the next, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of just sat and stared at a wall for a little bit. Like, is it really over?
Just like I didn't know it was gonna end.
I
How
thought we
did
were
it
gonna
end?
see like, oh, surprise! There's a 4th match, which
Oh,
that would have been amazing.
yeah, really.
Can we just talk about that real quick?
Go on.
All right. So, do you think next season they should make the finals like a best of 5 instead of a best of 3, and do like either 2 days, 2 games one day, 3 the next, or like 3 days, 2-2 if
I
we need it, or 1-2-2 or something like that.
I think that uh, the way they have it now is fine. I think adding more gives, excuse me, more chance for an upset, and not necessarily in a good way. I think that the best of 5 would kind of elongate it too much. In my opinion, I feel like if it just go on too long, then we'd be like, great, it's been back and forth all day long. Like, I got stuff to do. I'm a hungry boy. You know what I mean?
I get that, but having one match on Friday was just like annoying. Like, all right, you got a match. That sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I want more.
I think that to fix it, they should do both in one day.
Like all three?
Yeah, I think they should. I think that should be an all-day thing.
I disagree with that because I'd rather see a little bit of a gap between at least games like 1 and 2 and 3, or 1 and 2 and 3 like they did this time, just so the team can be like, okay, they did this. We have 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever we have, to talk about ways to fix whatever the problem was. And give them a little bit of a chance. Like, you don't see playoff games for like even baseball. Like, I have 7-game series, whatever. They usually don't happen on back-to-back nights.
You're right. No, I see that. I feel like in that case, though, it's longer. Like a full baseball game versus...
No,
like,
that I understand. Like, not apples to apples here. So...
But the thing that annoyed me was that it was one game Friday and that was it. Like, yeah, there's the couple rounds, I guess you could call it, inside of it.
That's why I brought it up, because it was like Friday was one game. I was like, all right, I'm into it, and it's over.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Saturday happened to also be one game, and it was over.
Yeah. But I think they could start at noon, right, just for argument's sake. Go until, what, it's about 1:30-ish, like hour and a half.
Probably, yeah.
Set. Like, even going to game 5, like, it'd be about an hour and a half.
Probably.
About. So it's 1:30. So you could do your next game at 3, have another hour and a half, or even 4 if you really wanted to, like, push it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so 2.5 hours to, you know, get a drink, take a shit, go over the new plan, go into that, and then if there's another one, so that brings you to 4:30, you can go on at 6, and you still got, you know, time.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun, you know.
I'd like to see them mess around with that a little bit, definitely. I hate seeing one. Yeah, I even hate just seeing 2 games on it, because we're so conditioned to 3. And 3 are happening no matter what.
Yeah.
And you get basically like a full work day of Overwatch.
Yeah, which I think they should, like, especially with, like, the people that are into it, right? We should, like, kind of shift it towards that. Like, you and myself, it's like the weekends are easier to do that. Yeah, I know I said I had a gig, but, like, I can still watch most of it.
Yeah.
Like, both of us essentially have a Monday to Friday 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So doing it on a Friday, I'm sitting at work like, come on, I want to make sure I'm out on time to get home to relax to start watching, versus on a Saturday, no, I'm off, you know.
Watch whatever all day and enjoy it, unless you have something pressing.
It's like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, have a watch party or something like that.
Yeah, like, that's just, it is what it is. It's one of those big things, you know.
Yeah.
Without getting ahead of ourselves, just looking at some numbers from the upcoming people coming to the league now, we're hitting, like, at least hockey numbers now. Like, we're getting there.
Well, the numbers of viewers and
dollars.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this later. How much money it costs just to be a team in the league?
Is it a lot of money?
Which,
Jesus Christmas.
I'm pretty sure it was close to that to start off with, and teams were just kind of hesitant. Like, I don't want to drop that much money and not know what's going on.
Sure. But we'll get to that before I go off on that. So, why don't you take us away on day 1? Go in depth on that for us.
All right. So, day 1, you already kind of mentioned Dorado a little bit. Philly outplayed London. I mean, London had the better push going on, but just couldn't finish. Philly did. It kind of was what it was. Then they moved on to Oasis, and London just said, hey, we gave you that one. We're just going to take it from here. Thanks. And that was just kind of how the rest of the game went. Oasis, there was really no competition. It was London and Philly, like, maybe got a couple percentage here and there, but nothing major.
I believe on the second map for Oasis, they got 0 to 100 in. I know that's not grammatically correct, but
That's basically how it felt, though.
Yeah, that was
It was
it
pretty
was fun
bad.
to watch, but it was one of those like, ooh,
But then
oh,
it gets worse, though. Like, that's the worst part. It just keeps getting worse for them on this night. So we move on to Eichenwald. So they had their little break, the 20 minutes, whatever they have. And then Philly comes out on attack. Takes a little while to get point A, and they start moving. They just barely get through the bridge, archway, whatever you want to call it.
Arch 1 or 2.
The first one. They never got to the second one. They get up to
Spoilers.
They get up to the bridge and just get demolished, and then basically spawn camped,
Yeah.
just outplayed. London comes up and takes that one fairly easily. So then we go on to Volskaya with Philly needing to win to force them at 5, or at least a draw. Well, Philly takes point 1, can't take point 2. I think they got to like, I don't know, 58% on point 2 before their time expired. And
Yeah, because I remember being on the call with you for that. Because Don and I had hopped on a call to kind of like go over everything as it was happening, so we weren't like,
there's a lot of screaming. There's a lot of screaming.
yeah, it was bad. But I remember when that happened, and we were like, holy shit, they didn't get the second tick. Oh my god. I remember just screaming at the top of my lungs, like, how did they not do that?
Yeah, it was bad, but it gets worse for them when they go on defense. So there was one really good play I do want to mention on their attack first. There was a grav to diva bomb on the top level on first point. That was just, I don't think I've ever seen that before, at least not executed that well.
Yeah.
That was just insane. That was a great play, but it got them point A, but didn't help that much.
We've talked about alt economy a lot throughout this, and alt economy has 2 parts to it, at least for me, where it's like having ults versus what your team has, like the enemy team, and then using them correctly.
Yes.
You know, like May's ult with a soldier ult. You know, they're all kind of frozen, and it's perfect for him to get his headshots and blow everybody up. And, you know, same thing with the Zarya bomb and into the Diva bomb, like you just said.
The flip side of that is Earthshatter. Earthshatter can be great, and it can be a literal waste of time.
Yep.
And we saw a lot of just whiffs, for lack of a better term, mostly on Philly's side.
No, that's a good term.
Like, it was just bad. But we get to London's attack. London could not do a fucking thing when it came to getting point A.
Like the whole time, too.
They got down to, I want to say, like 60 seconds left before they even managed to get a foot on point.
Which was nonsense. Because Philly did straight up quick play bullshit.
That's what I was about to mention.
They straight up, like, we've all been there. We're playing pubs, we're going, we're having a good time. And
good time is it's just generous.
You have a controller or a mouse in your hand, and you're not drinking and crying in the corner, so it's a good time.
Right.
Anyway,
Relative.
we're playing the game, we're getting ruined, and the enemy team's like, no, it's just Call of Duty with waifus, so, you know, I'm gonna let them off the point so I can get it. It's like, I hate that. Just let me lose in peace. Like, there's no
Yeah,
way.
if we're shit, just let us be shit.
Yeah. And Philly pulled that. Boy, you're in the finals. Like, you can't, like, you're in the finals, and not only that, it's not like you're winning, like you have this crazy lead, like
No.
you just made London look like
You
their
need
cameras weren't
this.
on. You needed to win. And you were like, no, we took their steam out, we win. And got stomped. Rightfully so.
It was bad. Point A, Philly had, I think, they were maybe down like to 6v5, 6v4, but they could have stalled to force it into overtime.
Yep.
They just decided not to, for whatever reason. And I don't think this was mentioned anywhere, at least not on the broadcast. They just like, all right, peace. We're going to chill back on point 2 and just like hold that for a little while.
That may have been a miscommunication on their part. They may have thought there was less time than they thought.
It's possible, but you still, in my opinion, if they don't have A, especially on Volskaya, where spawn advantage is crazy in the defender's advantage,
Oh, yeah.
why not just throw everybody to that? You're going to respawn in, 10 seconds? So by the time they even get to point, you're back. Just throw everything you have at that for right now. Maybe not alts, but if you need like a Winston alt to stall, do that.
Well, the attacker spawn is super easy because it's like right there. Defenders is way back at point.
Yeah,
2.
but if you still have 4 people up, why are you dipping those 4 people out and just be like, all right, just come back? Why not just let them die on point and fight for it? Maybe get it down to overtime where get a few picks. Maybe the fight swings in your favor. Maybe use an Alter 2 to swing it in your favor. But they just like, nah, you guys got it. Like, well done. Glad. And then just left.
I think it's a mentality thing, honestly. Like, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, there's nothing that I could think of that's like, oh, it's fine, you know?
I agree. There's no reason in my mind that it's like, yeah, just let that's okay. That's a good play. Smart. Reposition. No, it doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all.
Is what it is at this point. I mean, hindsight's 2020. But then we move on to point B. That's when it gets interesting. And that's when I was like, I need to see more Overwatch tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Because Prophet had no business doing what he did.
I'm sorry. Who?
Prophet.
Who?
You said Birdring as MVP first, so.
No. I'm sorry. I don't know what player.
Are you talking about Money Shot Prophet?
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Well, I was trying to avoid that term because that's just, this is a family-friendly channel.
It hasn't been since day one.
I know. I'm trying. But he just did godly things. Like, we've talked about a bunch on this channel. You can't just solo and expect to do anything. Unless things just go right. Well, Prophet just basically said, hey, fuck you guys. I'm going to go do Prophet things.
What about this being family friendly?
It's over now.
Oh, okay.
It's been over a long time. I said Money Shot. Like, it's gone. It was just disgusting. Like, he solely got them to 57%, like within a percent or so of where they needed to be to win the map.
Yeah.
He just, I believe it was a tracer, and just, it was not fair. It was just not fair. Like,
you're right over there.
He should not be playing. It looked like varsity JV.
We don't bring that up.
It was bad. That's the best analogy I have. It was bad.
Don't bring that up.
And that basically led to London just, all right, give them another minute or two, come in with everybody, alt economy in their favor, and just get that last couple percent. And that was it.
You just walk right over them.
That was day one.
And then we had a break, and then we went to Saturday, and
Wasn't much better.
it was worse.
Yeah.
To put it lightly, well, no, I'm not gonna say it. That's wrong. London did sweep it. They did 3-0 it, but I do have to say on Kings Row, Philly put in work. I gotta give it to them. They weren't going down.
They showed up just a little late.
Yeah, absolutely. The first game, in my opinion, and I believe yours as well here at Owl Watch, the first map had the play of the season, the whole thing, all of it, with Money Shot Profits, amazing Hanzo play.
With help from Gesture. Like, I just can't leave him out of this. With help from Gesture.
I was getting there. It's called commentating. You should learn a thing or two about that.
We're not there yet.
The suspense.
We got like 6 more months until they come calling, so.
It's okay. But yes, Gesture on the Orisa used their halt ability to group everybody in right after point B on Junkertown attack.
The top section.
In that top section, use the halt in there, and then Hanzo with the dragons just went, wow. And
this push is over.
It just went, I'm done. And what? I think in that he killed Boombox, Neptuno, EQO, Sato, and D-Mect Poco. The only thing that was left was Carpe as a tracer.
That's just one. I'm just gonna run away, go back to spawn, and just cry in a corner.
Yeah, there was no coming out of that at all.
No, it was bad.
Let's not forget too, Yuri's little boop as well. There was a boop in there. Him on the Diva did push who is it? EQO back in there because he did try and use the Genji ability to be able to push
Yeah.
himself out. Like, I'm a dash away, and no, it didn't happen. Fury went,
Get blocked.
you're in there.
It was great. Oh, that like the minute we saw that again, we weren't on a call for this point. We were just texting back and forth, but we both were just like, all right, so London's the champs.
Yeah. We went, great, this is over. And unfortunately,
We were right.
yeah. Unfortunately, especially on Lijiang Tower, London actually swept and 2-0'd Philly, which
Yeah.
oh boy.
That was just a weird one because it always seemed like London had ult economy and Philly didn't. Like, I don't even remember seeing that many ults. Just like London just had them.
Well, I think we had talked about this. I don't remember if we were on this or just on a private call on how you can still get ults just by standing.
Yeah.
there.
No, we've talked about it.
And that just seemed to be what happened with Philly. They couldn't do anything. Sado, rest in peace, Sado. That was
Yeah.
horrible.
I mean, we've talked about blaming tanks in the past, but I don't want to put it all on him because I hate doing that to somebody. But he just seemed either out of position or being too aggressive by himself as their main tank, and just basically single-handedly killed their pushes, like, or just forced Mercy res out way too soon.
Yep. At this, honestly, I don't even know if I would call it aggressive. I just think it was out of position. He just wasn't doing. He's like, I'm gonna go out here, and like, with certain tanks, you can kind of get away with it. With a diva, you can always like don't use your jetpack to get in there. Wait, so you can
You can get out.
Away.
Yep.
Same thing with Roadhog, with your whole hog. With the damage absorption you get plus the healing, you really have to worry. And you can at least stand there with Take a Breather. I'm sorry, not
Yeah.
Roadhog.
Whole hog works too. I mean, that's just kind of a push ult, so
True.
let that one go.
But with Take a Breather, like you can at least have the rest of your team catch up.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm good. Yeah, I wasted. I have to wait, but my team's here, so it's kind of like the fight evens out.
Yeah. He was always jumping in as a Rhine, an out of position Rhine, which is never a good thing, or an out of position Monkey, which just as bad. Sure, you could try to jump out, but if the focus fire's there, it's over.
It is what it is. Because the unfortunate thing with with any tank, any shield tank, I should say, you can always get through the shield, right?
Yeah.
Reinhardt, you just run him. Same thing with Orisa, seeing as it's like sedentary. You
Yeah.
just kind of go, whoop, I'm in. But with Monkeys, he has to stay inside of that little thing.
And you can still go in.
You can just go, boop, 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 I'm in.
And it doesn't really take that much to break it down. Again, if focus fire's there,
Yeah.
it's over.
An out of position monkey is a dead monkey, unfortunately.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, going back to Lijiang Tower, EQO was said to be the better Pharah. Like they said it live. The commentators were like, EQO should have basically a field day here, being the better Pharah.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
No, it didn't go well.
Was it Birdring or was it Prophet that was playing Pharah? I don't even remember. But it doesn't matter. EQO still got outplayed
by a lot. Yeah, because that was one of those things. We saw London's Pharah, because again I forget as well who was playing him, but we saw London's Pharah, and then I did not see Philly's Pharah whatsoever. It was just like, okay.
There's an attempt, I think, at a long range barrage that just didn't work. Maybe got one, but
real quick.
Yeah, it was bad. But that was basically Zhang. Like, didn't really pan out too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then Philly had to get something going, and they kind of did on King's Row.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. I was kind of hoping we'd at least see a game 4.
Yeah.
We didn't. But it finally settled what happens, because me and you were in the dark for the longest time on this, on what happens in overtime with these maps. Philly finished
in overtime.
Yes, their whole attack in overtime. So when London finished, not in overtime, game tied because they both got 3 points on the map. But Philly didn't get a second push to see if they could either A, capture the cart, or B, if they did, how far they could get. All it was if London could get one tick
Yeah.
on unlocking the cart.
Yep.
Which I believe they only had, what, a minute and a half? Something like that.
Something around there. Still, I think they maybe a little bit more because I think they got a couple pushes in before they actually got it.
See, I don't even remember one push.
So it was, if I recall, they went death ball.
Yes, they did go death ball.
And I don't think they went straight to point. I think they went like around and tried to like get up on top and basically flank the entire team. Like
Yeah, they
get a couple picks and then just sit on point.
Yeah, essentially what they wanted to, rather than go right to point and have an outright fight, they did that flank to whittle them down to where even if they lost one or two, if they took out one or two in the process, they could still go for it because the team is still even with a 4v4.
And you have spot advantage.
Exactly. So it's okay to go crazy and lose people because, you can just go right back in.
Exactly. Especially with a death ball where you're kind of just stationary and there's enough shielding going on and healing going on with Lucio just chilling there that you can kind of keep most people up. If you lose one, whatever, unless you lose like Ryan, then you're kind of over. But
Well, no, because it's depending on who they play. Like having a Zarya, having a D.Va, having a Roadhog. Yeah, you don't have that shield. You're right. D.Va can still do a little bit. And
not as
Ryan
much she
can
used to.
True, and not Ryan. Roadhog can at least hop in front, take a breather, take a brunt of a lot of damage, even if he's at full health, just to kind of really do it.
'Cause I think they went something along the lines of Ryan, Zarya, D.Va, Lucio, Brigitte, and Moira. The triple tank, triple support.
Yeah.
Which, that's a lot of healing going on, and a lot of damage.
Yeah, a lot of thick, meaty boys to try and get through, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
That's where you have to almost sacrifice your tanks for more DPS to try and go through, but at that point,
You're screwed.
yeah, Roadhog does a lot of damage, and, Brigitte with her stun and stuff kind of ruins DPS players.
Ugh. That's just
And we don't
whatever. Yeah, we'll talk about that later, I guess.
Maybe if I feel like it.
Yeah, maybe in like 4 episodes.
That'll be a you-only stream.
Yeah, maybe.
Just complaining the whole time.
Just sitting here with like a 6-pack, just like, all right, let's get real.
You do like the 90s don't do drugs thing.
Yeah.
We're out there, you have the jacket over. You're like, hey kids, doing drugs is bad. Playing Brigitte's also bad. Don't do drugs.
Play Zen.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. Just do like an intro commercial of that.
Shoot it on one of those old cameras so it looks like that.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
amazing.
One day we'll get there.
So with that brought the end of the Overwatch League Championship.
And season 1.
God bless season 1. It's a great season.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it went better than I think anybody ever expected.
Oh, by a lot. So if any of you out there, we still have the All-Star game, so technically we're still in season 1. Want a jersey?
Get on that.
Because they still have a little patch. I don't have mine on because I don't want to. That has
the inaugural season.
So I'm hoping that next season they do the same kind of thing where it's season 2.
They might.
At that point, I would try and do
Every year.
Yeah, just because, you know what I mean?
I'm with you on that. I'll definitely do it, especially now that you can get player jerseys instead of just generic jerseys.
I wonder if the players get a cut of that because it's a direct sale based on the player.
It may be in the contract that either merch sales are separate or it could be in the contract that they get $5 for every jersey with their name on it or something along those lines. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something we won't know until
Contracts come out.
well, if they come out.
Please give us contracts. We want to read those juicy contracts. I want to see everything.
Yeah.
I want an official rule book to go through everything.
Do they really have much of a rule book? Like,
I don't know.
don't
That's the thing.
cheat. Don't play on Adderall. Like,
Well, I mean, I don't know about that one.
no, I mean, you can't take Adderall in, like, football.
Well, that's because it's football and like,
So, yeah, it's a no fun league. I get it. But I don't know. Hopefully we get those things. Because I know, like, I'm a race fan. I like NASCAR. NASCAR doesn't publish their rule books. Like, their teams only. So I hope it's not one of those things where, like, you don't know the rules. You just know the little blurbs we've told you about the rules. So we can change it at any time
uh,
and just be really shady. But
so apparently we're like stupid.
are we that stupid?
Apparently we're that stupid.
Cool.
I found like I googled it for 2 seconds and found it.
Well, that's what you get when you do an episode off the cuff.
But it won't let me download it. So
Oh, is that the rule book?
yeah.
All right, we'll look into that and do read it and do a comprehensive review later. Or just
get
say
my-
everything makes sense. Good job.
Yeah. Just. Oh, cool. You have to be 18.
That we
starting,
knew.
Blah blah blah. You have to be in good standing with the league, Blizzard.
That's expected. Don't cheat, basically.
Yeah. It breaks down the two divisions, the Pacific and Atlantic. Goes over the preseason format and schedule, regular season,
Okay.
match structure, map selection, game standings, playoff format and schedule. Oh boy, breaking ties. Oh,
That would have been
so
good to know.
everybody gets money.
Expand on that a little bit for me, please.
So we had saw in all right performance bonuses. Bonuses are based on teams as follows: best win-loss record during the regular season.
New York.
So first is 300,000, second is 200, third is 150, fourth is 150, fifth and sixth are 100, seventh and eighth are 75, 9 and 10 is 50, 11 and 12 is 25, and the winner. The best win-loss record of the playoffs is 1 million. Runner-up is 4.
Of the playoff? Yeah, yeah, that means the winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
The league provides the gaming monitor, the
Mhm.
PC, mouse, keyboard, noise canceling headset with microphone,
Yep.
desk, chair, mouse pad, and a mouse bungee upon request. You can use your own stuff. You can get personalized stuff that's within the rules. They're not responsible if the stuff isn't in working order. They reserve the right, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
External hard drives for player settings. Each player will compete using a league office owned and managed removable SSD. This SSD will be copied to players' league office provided hardware, blah, blah, blah. Essentially saving the settings. Goes over the referees, team compositions. We're going to have to read this later because this is like super in depth.
Yeah, you have to send me that. I will link it in somewhere. Where can I
Yes.
put that?
Okay, and then there's something else that we're going to have to look up afterwards.
Put that in the chat or something. Like, just so we have it. And I'll put it in the video description for the YouTube video whenever that goes up.
This is the link. If you guys have trouble with it, I'm sorry about that. Without trying to sound rude, I did Google Overwatch rules or Overwatch League rules. Again, I'm not trying to sound rude. And the link I just posted is the link to the rules themselves, and then this link is for the page the rules were on. So again, I'm not trying to sound rude and be like, just Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying if
Put
the
that out
rules
for
are
everybody.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll have to take a look at that sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. So, on to something less boring, because I'm sure for a lot of you people out there, that's boring as shit, and only nerds like me and Don like that kind of stuff.
I mean, it literally says on the Twitch page about the nerds. So they should already know what they're getting themselves into.
Well, that's about like the candy nerds.
No, it wasn't. No.
It is.
I haven't had those nerds in about probably like 12 years.
5, because I remember it breaking my tooth.
And that's why I stopped 12 years ago.
Before you knew me. Actually, you probably knew me then. I don't know.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. So, anyway, on to our second part of this podcast that me and you are super excited to talk about.
And
Oh, boy.
sort of mad.
You can be mad all you want. I'm happy.
Maybe we're talking about different things. I'm hoping we're talking about different things.
Probably, I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see. We should have a pick. So, as I pull this up, just so I make sure that we have them, we got today, I believe they were today, 2 days ago. 3 now, actually. 3 confirmed teams coming to season 2, and 2 I'm excited about. 1 I didn't see coming.
That's why I'm mad.
Okay.
That 2 I'm good with. 1 I'm just like, eh.
So, let's see. We did the 3 teams that were confirmed were an Atlanta team, a Paris team, and I'm so sorry for anybody in China that's watching, a Guangzhou team. I'm gonna go with that. I think that's right. So those 3 were confirmed. Hella hype on Paris. Hella hype on another Asian team.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yep.
And whatever, Atlanta.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm fine with another American team, I guess, but I would have much rather have seen them confirm a Canadian team or another European team. Like, just do all of that stuff first. Give us the stuff we really want first. The 4 teams that, like, we need a Canadian team, we need another European team, we need another Asian team.
Yeah.
Give us that stuff, and then be like, all right, you guys got what you wanted. This one's for us. Like, we're gonna have Atlanta because it's a major market.
Which makes sense. Like, I get it. The only thing that doesn't make sense is that Florida was unforgettable this year, and to me, to add a team that's like right there, it's like, well, that team didn't do well, so that probably made that market not great.
I don't know. There were some Florida Mayhem jerseys in the finals, so
yeah, but there's always those people, you know.
Yeah, but
there's that one guy that's like, oh, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Hey,
man.
Hey. Hey. All right, so I'm never going to come back to any of this. I'm changing all of the passwords for all of our stuff, and
that's fine.
That's it. So there we go. But no, I'm fine with it being Atlanta. I kind of figured we were going to get another U.S. team. I'm just hoping we don't get a second one, but I figured we were going to get at least one.
We are.
Chicago was talked about, and
Chicago was talked about, but it was go on.
Apparently, Chicago was about to be one of the original 12, but either backed out or were basically usurped by somebody else getting there first.
Yeah.
So Chicago's probably going to happen. I just hope it's not now.
Okay, because going off of that point, reportedly the cost to buy in for an expansion team is between $30 and $60 million.
And the inaugural season was still $20 million.
Yes. So just by them hesitating, which makes sense as a business decision, you're like, great, it's another esports team. We saw what happened with a lot of other ones. It's a lot of money. We didn't know how it was going to go this season, because even yourself and myself going in were like, it's either going to be amazing or the worst thing to ever happen.
Yeah.
They got to be kicking themselves though. They've got to be kicking themselves because now they're out 10 million right there. At
least, either 10 or 40.
Oh.
I don't know how that scales. If it's like the first team that joins, you get 30. Second team costs 40. Like if it does something like that, or if it's just depending on area or what. I don't know. I don't know how they decide between 30 and 60, like where that falls. But
going off what you said, you're hoping for not another U.S. team.
Yeah.
It is confirmed there's one more team for the United States coming, one more in Europe, and one more in the Asia Pacific region. I'm thinking either Australia or Japan for the next Asia team. They're talking about another Korean team.
Yeah, I saw another Korean one, which I'd be fine with that. I guess whatever.
Yeah.
But I definitely we've talked about this in the past. I think we talked about it episode 1. We need to expand those markets.
Yeah.
And I think London winning is massive for the European market. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
The only European team.
And they won.
And they dominated the playoffs. Like,
they're the only one, and they're like, by the way, this is our game now. Goodbye.
That's great. That's what we wanted. If one of our teams couldn't win, We have already said we wanted a European or Asian Pacific team to win.
I love
And
my London now. I love them.
oh yeah, next season I'm probably gonna get like a profit jersey because
I hope they
worth.
put like money shot on it somewhere.
He just changes his name to Money Shot.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Oh God, I don't think he knows what that means. And,
I don't think so either.
Ugh,
We won't let him know.
no,
We'll let
it's
him
a good thing. It's a good thing.
know.
But yeah, no,
But
I
no.
really hope. Like, I'm hoping that it was a mistype. Like, maybe another North American team as opposed to another just American team.
Well, it says one
United
more
States.
based in the United States.
Shit.
That's a hard mistype for North America to type in United States.
I don't know. I come on, just give us like Toronto or something. Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal. Just give us one of those. Give us something outside of the United States. Like, love the USA. Just we need more diversity in this.
I was talking to earlier. I actually talked to my sister about this. Who
You gotta bring up that chart, our bet earlier, and just see how we're doing.
awful. Both of us are not winning.
Oh, I got Paris, I think.
Both of us got France. We
Oh,
both picked
shit.
France.
I was hoping that was the one you subbed for like Dublin.
No, my sub is Japan or Dublin.
Okay.
So you are France, Germany, Chicago, 2 Canada, and a Sydney. I am France, Germany, another England. So I'm looking okay so far. 1 Canada,
I
Sydney, and then Japan or Dublin.
Okay.
So at this point, it's whoever's the closest. Cause
Well, yeah. If we both only get one, that's just kind of
yeah,
a wash. But we'll try again next year, I guess. Damn, I really thought we did a little bit better than that, but
I mean,
Chicago might still happen then.
yeah, and there's another European team and another Asian team. So I'm still. I mean, if you're gonna be a jerk about it, you can say that England's not part of Europe because they're the United Kingdom, and they also have Brexit going on.
They're
so their
technically
own thing.
still European. They're just not part of the EU.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though.
It's-
And then technically Scotland becomes its own thing. Well, not technically, it does. And then Northern Ireland goes back to Ireland.
I mean, we can talk bullshit all you want. I'll give you England if they make another
Okay.
English team. Jesus Christ.
Well, no, because I know you, and you're gonna wait for it and go, well, technically.
No, it's on the record. Like, it is what it is.
Don't mean nothing.
Yeah, I'll just delete the video.
I know.
No, I really hope that. I don't know. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Whoever comes with money, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But I really hope it doesn't just become kind of like baseball or hockey, where it's 40 million American teams and then a couple Canada. Like,
Yeah,
it's just not fun.
absolutely. No, I get you on that. And that was more like we were saying as well, to kind of diversify it. That way it's not just this constant, like, well, it's a really American sport or game. I'm sorry. Really American
Esport.
game. Yeah, true. It's really American esport, or it's just for really, even though it's a bunch of Korean players, like, it's just, just for English speakers, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause that could be a turn off
What-
for anybody trying to get into
it all
the game.
depends on how you build your team. Like, you look at New York, they're pretty much, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they're pretty much Korean players exclusively. And so I'm assuming, I haven't heard their comms or anything like that. I'm assuming they just talk Korean, then
They
that's it. But then you look at, like, you can look at Dallas or London, where they have various people, like Custa. He's from Australia. Then you've got like Mickey on Fuel, who is from Korea, I believe. Like, they tried to mix it up and basically make English the melting pot that it was supposed to be, and just like, all right, well, this is the easiest for everybody, so see what happens. And you saw some communication issues. So if you build your team in a way that it's either already naturally speak one, or whatever you try to do to mix it up to where everyone speaks at least a little bit of English and just a little bit is all you need, you can get around that gap,
Yeah.
or at least try to.
Yeah, definitely. I more so mean not in the players, in the markets themselves.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that.
Because like yeah, like the players are gonna know because it's like, well, I can go into my settings and click Korean, I can click French, I can click whatever. I
Yeah.
more so mean for fans watching, you know, I can almost doubt that in Korea when they broadcast this, that
They
you
broadcast
know,
English.
yeah, it's like that's a dumb idea. Like you lose a market to that, you know.
Yeah. No, I
I
agree.
don't know. Like London, you can get away with it because yeah, we have the different accent and a little bit of different speech patterns, but it's still the same language. They know what's going on.
Yeah, it might just be a little bit harder to understand, but you'll you'll get the gist. And they speak in, for the most part, speak in kind of like just short, like use a small percentage of the actual phrase you wanted to use to say divas over there,
Yeah.
and that works. It's like
Yeah,
hallway. Okay, cool, got it. Somebody's over there. Like whatever.
no, I get that. So, the only thing like that I haven't found yet, and again, it might have been out in the past 2 days and I just missed it.
We
Is,
just found this today, so
Yeah.
stumbled upon it.
literally, I got this. I was like, oh my god. So the only thing is I haven't seen the names of the teams, the logos, nothing like that.
No, they probably won't do that until maybe a month to go before the season starts, which hasn't been announced yet.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
um,
I don't know.
We'll see.
That's one thing because I'm skimming through the confirmation article that they're going to, and a lot of it is unfortunately just going Activision made Call of Duty, which is stupid, and talking
Okay.
about Fox. And it's like, I don't want that. I want to know why this is confirmed, and from what I can see, yeah. All right, two more in the United States, Asia, Europe. Scandinavia is topping the charts. Topping the charts of markets in Europe,
that's a possible one I
and
did see.
Stockholm. They can't reveal anything yet about Scandinavia, but Scandinavia is an important market. Blah 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 blah. So we might be looking at them.
I would love that because I'm primarily like German, Norwegian, that Scandinavian area. So I would 100% support anyone that jumped in that area. It'd be great.
Yeah, because it seems like this article was written, or rather, the interview took place in Stockholm when,
Yeah.
because of the overwhelming, I guess, market is the only good word for it, in this, in Sweden, it looks like, the Nordic area, Stockholm. So, like, yeah, it looks like that may be our biggest contender.
That'd be
But
sweet.
I'm upset though because a couple podcasts ago we were talking about how there was the Canada team was confirmed. We knew Canada was coming.
Yeah, that's why it kind of pissed me off that we saw Atlanta. Like, I'm good with seeing Atlanta as a market that's getting a team, just not now. I wanted to see them later, if anything. Like maybe next season or something like that. But I don't know. They did say like Canada was big on their list, and all but confirmed it. So I don't know what went wrong, or
It may be a money thing because
it's definitely possible. I don't know what kind of owner groups are looking to jump into a Canadian market, but
yeah, a lot of it's media groups, and I was reading a thread on one of the Blizzard forums, and they were talking about how like, yeah, it's it's 30 to 60 million dollars for us in US dollars. So in Canadian money, it's
like 30 to 70.
it's more 40 to
Or,
70.
yeah, sorry, 40 to 70. That's what I meant.
So that's 10 million extra dollars, and the first season was great, but we've seen things have a great first season and
But
flop in the second.
You could see somebody like Cloud9 who owns London. They're based out of LA.
I
You
would
could see
almost
something like
imagine-
that.
I could see that, but I could almost see Well, no, I get your point that like Cloud9's in LA.
It doesn't have to be a Toronto owners group to make a Toronto team. As
True,
long as
very
it's,
true.
I believe, as long as it's approved by the city, then it's kind of just like, yeah, whatever.
True. But we never know what's going to happen with. That's a whole political thing that we're not touching.
Yeah, that's just is what it is. I don't really care about the owners groups as long as something happens soon and we just
As long as
hear.
they make a good team, even an okay team.
Yeah,
I love Shanghai. They haven't won a game, and I love them.
everyone loves Shanghai. The lovable losers,
They're the best.
and they're gonna sweep next season. So look out.
Perfect season. I know it. Like they're not going to give up a single tick,
Nope.
a single push, nothing.
Nope. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, all right, great, all right, Cole, I told you. Go back to Owl Watch episode 4.
Yeah. Heard it here first, folks. Like,
Shanghai's gonna have a perfect season.
we're riding the dragon.
So now I am gonna change all the passwords because I'm logged into things.
Fair
so
enough.
I can
Fair enough.
here and throw it all away.
So I have two more topics that I just thought about. One I just saw online, which I'll get to that in a minute because it's near and dear to my heart. The other one is, so London has 7 players.
Yes.
They cut down their roster to 7 for probably 12 to 7 to have a nice, neat core, and that worked out for them. Do we see teams like LA, New York, cut their roster from 12 to 7 or 8? Just cut it down a little bit so it's a little bit more intimate and you get a little bit more like full team.
I could see
Feel.
some people doing it. I could see, like, all jokes aside, I could see Florida, Shanghai, somebody like that doing it. A, just due to dollars and cents, and B, due to look, they have all these people, nothing's really working.
Yeah.
So I could see them doing that to kind of bolster themselves. They have another season where they don't really have to worry about money just because they're like, here we go.
Yeah. No, I could see that.
I could, I could see that, but I don't think with a team like LA, with New York, with Philly, I don't see that happening. I truly don't, because to be fair, London rode a dangerous line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They only had one backup, and if they, God forbid, they lost that other backup, things happen. It is what it is. God forbid. Then they're down to 5 players. Then they can't play, or they're at a huge disadvantage just starting. Because I know the league wouldn't be like, well, you have 5, so we'll make them play with 5. They're gonna go, no, you have 5. Either you can forfeit and lose, or you can play
Well,
with 5.
I don't know if signings continued on for most of the season or if that period ended at some point, but you could sign a free agent or something along those lines. But I know what you mean. Like, I understand
it's a
the concept.
thing.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that being a strategy, though. I truly, truly do, and I think you're onto something there. I think some of the teams that do worse, we may see this as a trend.
Cut down to say 7, 8. Give yourself a little more leeway with 8. Have maybe a flex and a support or something along those lines. Because I know
Those would be the two best ideas to have.
the
is flex and
the seventh for London is a support.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me.
That's also because they run, what is it? 1 healer, 1 flex, 1 tank. I'm sorry, no. 2 healers. Yeah, 2 healers, a flex, a tank, and 2 DPS. So they hop out their flex to be, that.
No, because they play
Makes sense.
Nuss and Bedosian are 2 supports, a tank, a flex, and 2 DPS. So, I mean, they do. When you're at this level, everyone's kind of a flex. Like,
Yeah.
you can play at least a serviceable soldier.
something.
Like,
Yeah.
you can make it work. But I would like to see more teams do that. We've talked about it before, where teams have basically like a full B team that sees like 30 minutes all season, except for that one guy who's like, "Oh, we'll give you a shot. You get 10 hours, 20 hours to play." It just doesn't work, and they're like, "Okay, well, you're just a scrim player now.
Yeah.
Here's your 50. Here's your 50K, but you just there for moral support, basically."
I don't know about you, but I would take 50K to be a scrim player. That's just me.
Oh hell yeah!
I
As long as it's not like something you can't work someplace else or do something like that, have just like a freelancing job. But like, I do that. I've always said the best job to have is a backup quarterback in the NFL. You get paid a shit ton of money. You're not expected to do anything great if you do have to play. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So
That's a valid point. I think once we see more contracts come out and those become more public, we'll start to see how teams are going to play with this like lineup kind of thing.
yeah,
Because then we can see, like, all right, I'm just using numbers just for argument's sake, right? Let's just say New York has $10 million. We're going to start to see, well, what are the contracts of everybody at versus what are their costs and this and that they have to play with each year.
well,
Versus a team like Shanghai, who's most likely after this season doing so poorly, probably has less money to play with.
we've talked about this in the past. I think we talked about it episode 1, where we might see some sort of a salary floor and a salary cap. So you have to spend at a minimum of $500,000 on players, just say. And then you can only spend a maximum of $1 million on players, or just whatever the numbers are.
Yeah.
So you can't see, like, New York spend $10 million like they can in baseball, because there is no salary cap. Or if there is, doesn't really do anything. So you can't just see them buy all of the great players and then just be like, okay, well, this is our league now. Have fun.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't see Shanghai just be like, okay, well, we're going to get the cheapest guys. If we get 6, 7, 8 of the $50,000 guys, because then it won't meet the salary floor.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a little bit of that give and take there. And I think with the lovable loser mantra we've given Shanghai, I think they're getting more money than, like, say, Florida. Even though they finished dead last between merch and, like, all of these things.
Yeah, you're right. No, that makes sense.
And they have a huge fan base everywhere. So the owners group's going to be like, okay, we played terribly, but we've got millions of fans everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, at that point, a good investment. Even if you lost a little bit of money, it's like, okay, well, we've got people. We've got their eyes. Like, what can we do with it from here on out?
Yeah, because they're forever going to be known as the team that lost every game in the inaugural season.
Yep.
Nobody can take that away.
Nope.
And even if another team goes like 0-40,
Nah, it's just Shanghai Part 2. Shanghai's still better.
and it's still going to be just like you said. It'll be Shanghai Part 2.
Yep.
Not going to be, oh well. Again, I'm just using names. Chicago lost all of them. They're still going to go just like Shanghai.
Yeah, remember a year ago when Shanghai did this first.
Exactly, and did it better. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just wanted to gauge your interest on, like, where you stood, like 6, 7, 8 players or a full B team.
London proved it worked. I think there should be not a B team. I think it should be your S tier team and your A tier team. That's what my view of it. I don't think there should be a B team. If you're gonna have 12 players, they better be good.
Well, I think they're good in their own right. It's just they weren't as good. It's the same thing as S and A versus A and B. Like,
no, yeah, but it's more of those thing of like London proved they have an S tier team. They have a top tier because of their tight core. And if they had to sub in their 7th, you knew that he was a top A tier player where you didn't have to worry. If Valiant had to sub in their B team, it's just at that point it's like, well, we're going to lose anyway. There's no point in bringing them in. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
So.
But all right, we'll see how that goes and if they do create more rules for contracts and how all of that's going to work in the future whenever we do get some sort of announcement on a season 2, which can't wait.
Yes, for those of you that just joined us, we did find the page that has the official rules for the game itself, for the league, I should say.
At least the first year.
So if you do want to check that out, that's that link right there. I know we'll be going over that probably next podcast, just so we have some cliff notes to,
Yeah, see how things change in the future. Give us some sort of point of reference for where the league's going.
Yep. So what is this special secret second thing that you have?
So I saw this on, I think, Instagram or some other social media. And then while I was on one of our pages, our news articles for the new teams, I saw that Dallas finally announced their assistant coaches. So that's going to be Justin Jane Conroy, Jane's his handle, and Louis Tikati Level Wong.
Okay.
And I'm super excited because they're retaining Peak, their current assistant coach. Or no, sorry, they're getting rid of him, which is fine because you just start over. But if Arrow, the new head coach, comes in, is excited about these people and wants them on his staff, I'm fucking hype. Like,
Yeah.
Arrow came in and completely changed the complexion of Dallas.
Oh my god, yeah. He saved Dallas from being like in that Florida tier where it was like, eh. So it's like there's Florida and Shock, which it's like,
You're not as bad/good as Shanghai, but you're not even close to the like Houston or
Yeah.
Seoul. You're
Yeah,
just
it's one of
in
those-
that. They're there.
you're not the worst, but boy oh boy, you're not popular.
Yeah. But the other part of this that I think is interesting, Jane, Justin Conroy, one of the new coaches, is the head coach for Team Canada in the 2018 Overwatch World Cup. So if you've got somebody who's a head coach of a country as your assistant coach, I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, it could mean literally nothing, and he could be fired a week after the season starts. But right now,
You're gonna ride that hype train.
I've got hope, man. I'm excited.
Well, I was talking to you about this before as well with Dallas. I think that this season Dallas is going to be who you're going to have to watch out for. London, I think, is going to start strong. I don't think we're going to see him in playoffs again. You know, I have no idea if.
We'll see if they expand the playoffs though, with 16
True.
teams.
True, but I don't know. I also just lost my train of thought, but it's.
That is what it is. It's definitely going to be interesting next season because everyone knows what to expect now.
Yes, thank you. That's what
There's going to be the fanfare and all that stuff, and probably more so of it. But you know what a week of the Overwatch League is like. You know how the stages play out, and you kind of got used to that, and how you're practicing, and everything that goes on behind the scenes for a season. You're used to it, except for possibly the new teams, unless they pick up old Overwatch League players. But we'll see how it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the new Dallas Fuel show up, and I'm excited to see what the new teams do. Because who are they going to pick up? Players, coaches, like any of that stuff.
Yeah. I think in the off season, you're gonna have to start watching some of the other like contender games and all that to see where those go.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching the World Cup. Like, you're seeing a lot of the players we've seen now play. So we're actually gonna be able to see like Siegel and Taimu, and I would imagine a lot of the Korean players like Jonak, Prophet, Birdman, like those players play for their respective countries on a head-to-head basis and see how their practice is doing. Like, are they still enjoying the game? Like, did they get burnt out, or are they still like loving it?
Oh yeah, that's it. That's gonna be a thing coming in that I didn't even think about. Is like who's gonna stay and who's gonna piece. Because we very may well see, people leave just because.
Yeah.
Because they're either like, A, I don't like it. B, it's not for me. I think XQC is coming back, and that may cause some people to leave. I forget who picked them up, but somebody picked them up after all that nonsense. Like, he left the league.
Well, he kind of got pushed out, yeah.
But there's no penalty to his contract, is the thing.
So he's still technically in good standing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's something that we'll have to see. I know we'll inform you guys. We're working on getting some social media stuff up and editing a little bit more to make things a little bit easier. Once we see anything important as far as players go, either new signings or like trades, something like that, I'm sure we'll be able to post that out for you guys to see those articles and stuff, just so it's a little bit easier to find and digest. But yeah, I still have to say, this whole podcast, though, I know we talked about the expansion teams and stuff. It's still congratulations, London.
Oh, 100%. That was kind of just we found the teams today. So
Yeah.
that was a throw in. But London, you guys killed it. Like,
Good
well
job.
done. Hopefully you're still as hot next year. And hopefully we see the same roster.
That'd be
Because
great.
you saw the emotion on those players' faces after they won.
They was crying.
They were happy, like ridiculously happy. And it's a good sign. If players want to win that bad, it means
Yeah.
they're doing something right.
Yeah. It means it's a league it's worth following. So, but yeah, I think that just about does it for this week. We'll let you guys know. I'm sure you'll see it get blasted around. In this upcoming off season, we're unsure of what the schedule's going to be so far. We'll most likely be back next Tuesday to kind of go over that. The length of that stream we're not entirely sure of yet
Yep.
because we have to go over what's going to go on. But that should be a good way to let you guys know, follow the socials and all that once we get them up and running. And once we figure out exactly what we're going to do, since there's no more Overwatch every week.
It's depressing.
It is. It's very depressing. But once we figure that out, you guys will know. You'll be the first to know, probably before us, because we'll probably just blurt it out like idiots on here and go, shit, I have to do that now.
Yeah, it sounds like us.
Yeah. So, anything else you'd like to talk about, Don?
No, I think that's it for this episode. We covered a lot more than I initially expected we would. So, I think that's a good start.
Hooray!
We'll start to the off season, I should say.
So, here's to a great season, guys. Thank you for joining us for the very end. It was great, though. We will be
Cheers.
back. You will see us this upcoming week. We'll go over everything. with you
Absolutely.
guys. So, cheers to that. Cheers to Overwatch. I'm not going to do the Tracer line because it's stupid.
Just don't.
I'm not going to.
Good.
Good job.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys all next week, and stay tuned for more. Bye.
Bye. I love you.